Hey, how's it going, guys? Mr. Boss for the win here, and in today's GTA 5 video, we're going to be talking about 10 things you need to know before you purchase the brand new Pegassi Toros in GTA Online. So Rockstar has already started to introduce the drip feed vehicles in Grand Theft Auto Online as a part of the After Hours update, and today we get our first brand new vehicle, the Pegassi Toros, which is available on the Legendary Motorsports site for $498,000. It's a four-seater luxury SUV. Here's the description. What do a 23rd century hypercar and a family-friendly SUV have in common? More than you might think. They both turn you into a lead-footed tailgating sociopath the moment you touch the gas, and they both do roughly the same miles per gallon as a burning oil well. With all that shared DNA, it was only a matter of time before someone left them in a dark showroom to see what they would breed, and the Toros is the result. So in case you guys are curious, the Toros is a parody of the Lamborghini Urus, which is Lamborghini's like SUV, but has like supercar features and an engine. So it's incredibly quick. I've actually seen one of these in real life. It's a beautiful looking car. And so far, from what I've seen from Rockstar, it's a beautiful vehicle too. So that's what it's based off of, in case you were curious. If we actually take a look at the vehicle stats, not sure any of that matters, but it does have some impressive ones with top speed, just a little bit over 4 bars, acceleration 4, braking about 1 1/3, and traction is about 3.5. So it's actually not that expensive too for 2018 pricing, under $500,000. So let's go ahead and buy one of these things, and it can be stored anywhere. I'm going to be putting mine in my arena workshop. And when it arrives, it's going to look like this. Again, I've said this is a really beautiful car. You can tell it has a lot of those Pegassi Lamborghini elements to it. So far, I really like what I see. A great looking car. And let's move on to the inside, and I'll actually, guys, let you take a listen to the engine startup sound right now. So that's the startup sound, and this is the interior. The interior is nothing to write home about. It's a 4-seater, so you get like the detailed back seats, but there's really nothing special going on in here. Now let's move on to customization. That's one of the best parts about this vehicle. Hopefully all the other vehicles too. 23 customization options, and that is awesome. So you're going to be able to design this car in many different ways. The first big change you're going to be able to make is to the exhaust. There is 13 options right there. So that's quite nice. The next option, and I didn't even catch this at first glance, is the front bumper. So not only do you have a lot of bumper options, which is nice, I think you have 10 of them in total, the front bumper is actually what gives you a traction increase. Like, this is something I did not catch at first. I actually had to go back and say, like, whoa, wait a minute here. Why does the front bumper give a traction increase? Apparently it does, and maybe you guys can let me know why in the comments down below. Potentially this was just a glitch from Rockstar, or maybe there's something very specific about the Toros, or the Urus, I should say, that modifies the bumper, and because of that gives it better traction. I don't think I've seen anything like that before in GTA Online before. But the bumper, if you want a traction upgrade, is something you're going to have to modify a little bit. There are some cool options. In fact, some of them will actually put the Pegassi sort of text cursive logo in there as well, and I think that looks kind of cool. After that, you've got some grille options, which are certainly unique. I wasn't really too sure what to go with here, so I ended up going back to the stock. You can also modify the hood option as well. You can go from very simple to literally a showcase hood where you can see the entire engine bay, which does look really good. We'll talk about that in a little bit. And if you modify this vehicle in the Arena Workshop, you get access to all of the new Arena Workshop tools. So for example, you could change the color of the headlights on this vehicle if you wanted to as well. I'm sure that's something you guys will do. After that, we have the liveries. And I'm not going to lie, the liveries are like the one part of this car that I really don't love. You have classic stripes, orange Toros, purple Vandal, blue Vandal, offset globe oil, Fukuru Winter, Fukuru Ranger, Stronzo stripes, Debonair and Mindmock, and then you've got Sportoros. And I just think none of these look all that great. Like, there's only one real simple option, or two, I should say, orange Toros and classic stripes, and the rest are just kind of like wacky to me. So I don't know, maybe I'm in the minority with that, but I don't really love the liveries on this vehicle. So for my first design, I kept it pretty simple, and I actually didn't go with one. Let's talk about the colors now, because there's a couple of different things that the colors do. So the primary color is going to affect a lot of the vehicle. In fact, the only thing it doesn't have an impact on the outside is going to be that tiny little like strip at the bottom of the door sill and the mirrors. That's the only thing it's not going to have an impact on. So as you can see, we can change up all those colors, and the mirrors and that little line at the door sill will remain the same. That is what the secondary color changes. If you modify the secondary color, you'll actually change that line, and you'll also change the mirrors. So you can play around with some cool combinations right there. And the trim color doesn't actually change the interior, but instead it just changes the stitching around the seats and the steering wheel and stuff like that. So that's what your 3 color options do right there. From there, you can modify the roof. There's a couple of roof options that actually give it an aerial on the back, which I think looks kind of funny. So there's a couple of fun roof options right there. You also have a couple of skirt options too. Pretty simple. The race skirts will actually add the Pegassi logo on the side, which is kind of cool. One thing that's kind of unique is the spoilers. So there's actually 2 types of spoilers on this car. There's an upper spoiler and a lower spoiler. And I don't know if there's any other vehicle in the game that has that. Now, this is when I noticed the fact that the spoiler actually didn't change the traction. At first, I thought, oh, maybe it's the lower spoiler that changes the traction. Well, it turns out that's not the case either. So you have a lot of options here to make some pretty creative designs with an upper and a lower spoiler. And I think this is the only vehicle in the game that has it. And some of them are like pretty unique, like supercar-esque looking spoilers. So I'm sure you guys will be able to come up with some very creative combinations here, but just note the spoilers have no impact on traction. They are cosmetic only. Now, the final thing you're probably interested in is the wheels. These are the same wheels that can be found on another Pegassi vehicle, the Tempesta, and they can be changed with the iFruit app. So if you have the iFruit app, you can actually find this car and you can change the color of the rims. Not all of them, it's like the interior part. If you're looking for a very similar rim, you don't want to deal with the iFruit app, the high-end shadow rims are probably going to be your best bet in terms of that like sharp angle and the similarity right there. So that right there is the customization of the Toros. Let's take this thing outside. One thing that I found quite odd about this vehicle is for an SUV, you can't open the trunk. Like the trunk is there, but you can't open it. Like out of all the vehicles that Rockstar would have added into the game, you would have assumed that this one, the Toros, the SUV Lamborghini, you'd be able to open up that trunk in the back. But unfortunately, you cannot. It's a little bit weird, and I'm not sure why Rockstar did that. Something else that's kind of cool is the engine bay, though. The engine bay, as you can see, those colors there are affected by the primary color, and it actually does look really nice. It's a very high-quality engine bay, as you guys can see there. And the yellow stripes that I have are a direct impact on the primary color. So that's another thing that it ultimately does. Pretty cool stuff. Now, as far as my brief experience with the Toros, the first immediate thing I noticed is that this is a very, very fast SUV. I think the previously quickest SUV in the game was the Contender, which is like it's a pickup truck, which it's kind of hard to categorize. That is an SUV. So all I know is this thing is incredibly fast, and it's not really shocking that it is. I mean, it's a Pegassi vehicle after all. It's basically a supercar SUV, so yes, it is very quick. The one thing I did notice with this vehicle, it was kind of clunky and hard to control, and I don't know if that's just like the new handling flags that I'm noticing, or if I'm a bad driver, probably, or if it's the vehicle itself. But I just found myself having a hard time controlling it. Maybe I'm not used to SUVs going this fast, but it is insanely quick. Like, I don't know how many of you guys are doing SUV races in 2018, but if you are, this is a vehicle that you're definitely going to need to buy because it is wicked quick. Like, you can just tell it's going to be right up there with the Contender. I don't even know what some of the other better SUVs are. Would it be like the XLS? Maybe even the Huntley S from like 2014. Is that still one of the better SUVs in the game? That's like the closest thing I would compare this to, but this one is much, much quicker. So overall, what are my thoughts on this vehicle? I think it's amazing. I think Rockstar did a really good job with this. The car is super clean. It has great customization if you really wanted to make something unique and crazy. It's also super fast and pretty affordable at under $500,000. And overall, I would say that this is a great vehicle. Like the past couple of SUVs that Rockstar have added into the game have been really lackluster. Like remember is it the Streeter or the Strider that they added in the last Christmas update? It was just terrible. Like that had to be the ugliest thing of all time. This is the polar opposite. It's one of the best looking cars in the game. It's one of the quickest cars in the game, and it's relatively cheap and affordable. So overall, I'm giving this car an A+. But that right there is 10 things that you need to know before you buy and before you should buy the Pegassi Toros in GTA Online. But as always, I'd love to hear from you guys in the comments down below. Let me know your thoughts, opinions, and more on this vehicle down there. If you guys did go on to enjoy this video, though, a like rating would, of course, be awesome. And subscribe to my YouTube channel if you are new or you like daily GTA and Red Dead Redemption 2 videos like this. With all the way, guys, like I said, thanks so much for watching. Take care, and I'll see you guys in the next video.